Happy video day, guys. I am so sorry if I look super oily right now, but it is so hot outside that I am just, oh my god, like seriously, South Florida does not understand that we're in autumn. We need some cooler weather down here. I literally went outside to do some photos for Instagram and super hot. But anyways, today what I'm going to be doing for you guys is I'm going to be doing a final thoughts video on a few items. I picked some items that I have used consistently and I really have a good grasp on how I feel about them. There may be items that I reviewed together that maybe you guys don't see in this video, and that's just because like I don't 100% think that I know my final thoughts on them. But these I really do. Like these I have my final thoughts gathered and I'm ready to share with you guys the 100% results on these. If you're waiting for a specific item and I haven't gotten my final thoughts on it yet, most likely that is because I haven't used it enough and I really want to use it enough to really tell you guys this is where it's at. I'm gonna try to get as many of the new releases final thoughts done before Sephora does their sale. Usually that happens like in November-ish. So I'm gonna give you guys all of those final thoughts, but I have these items in front of me and these I can tell you guys 100% for sure my final verdict. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. We've got a few different products in here. I'm going to be going over foundations, bronzers, eyeshadow palettes, and tinted moisturizers. So yes, we've got a few items. I did cut it down. I didn't want to put everything in this video because then we would be here for too long. So anyways, if you guys are excited, now's the time to hit that subscribe button and join my family. Love to see you again, and let's get into it. You know what? I'm just gonna start off the video with the first item that I am just so excited for, guys. I am so excited for this item, and I have used this enough to tell you guys a final verdict on it. And the Rare Beauty foundation, guys. I have been wearing this since the moment I got it, non-stop. If you guys follow along with my community tab, or if you're following me on Instagram at Christina Brooke Beauty, you probably know already that I was having a really hard time finding my shade. I started at like 240W, I think it was, and holy cannolis, it was yellow, it was deep, and it looked good, especially on camera, but I didn't love the match like for an everyday and to actually wear out in public. Like it looked good, but it didn't look perfect. And I was really enjoying that foundation though, and I had kept on wearing it and I love the feel on my skin that I was just dying for the right shade. I ordered another shade and I got, I'm gonna put it up here because I can't remember the number, but I got those two shades. They were both in the warm family, because usually what I will get is a warm golden undertone. That's usually what I always aim for. And this other one ended up being too light and too yellow. So I felt like the warm shades go very yellow. Like you actually have to have a very strong yellow undertone for these warm shades. And my yellow undertone is there, but it's not that strong. That's usually why I get golden. So I was having a really hard time matching myself, but finally today I found my match. It is 210N. So the neutral shades in here, I believe, match golden undertones better because it still has warmth to it, but it's not super yellow. So it gave me a little bit more yellow than I'm used to in a neutral tone, at least for me personally. I usually think neutrals sometimes on me go too pink. This one had a little bit of yellow. It had a nice warmness to it. I mean, you guys can tell I have it on today, and compared to a lot of the other foundations I usually pick, this one matched me pretty damn good. So neutrals can work for warm tones, especially if you don't have a strong yellow. This is fantastic shade match. I am elated. But besides the shade match, I've been using this foundation in the wrong shades because I still wanted to use it. My skin loves this foundation, and I guess I've never worn a serum foundation. I've never really wanted to. I always thought that they could be oily. I have acne prone skin. I'm kind of scared of things that are oily or have serums because I think it could be horrible for my skin and I'll break out. My skin loves this. I've been wearing it for 2 weeks. The moment I bought it, I kept on wearing it because I just love the feeling on my skin. I actually feel like I'm putting some type of healthy elixir on my skin. It's very moisturizing feeling, and I mean, I have more mature skin. So since I have more mature skin, I tend to get a little bit dry, but since I live in very warm climate, I get oily. I can just sit here and tell you guys, My skin loves this. I want to put on this foundation because of the way it feels on my skin. I haven't felt that way about a foundation before. That I love the way it feels and I want to wear it because I just feel my skin likes it. This is really good, at least for me. I think that this is phenomenal. Now, what I've learned is I don't like to put it on with a sponge. It just eats it away too much. I've been using this brush. This is the It Cosmetics for Ulta brush, and I'll link it down below. But this is a softer brush. It's very, very soft. And when I first bought it, I wasn't 100% sure if I liked it for my other foundations. Before this serum one, oh my God, it just feels so good on my skin. I put it on with this. It blends out really nice. You have to work a little bit longer with this and just keep on blending it a little bit because since it's serum-y, it doesn't apply like a thicker foundation that it just like covers the skin. I feel like you have to like kind of work it in and just make sure it looks great. Kind of reminds me of the Marc Jacobs Shameless. When you would put it on, I feel like you had to kind of like work it in there. But I thought at the end it looked amazing, the Shameless foundation. So this reminds me of that. Not the texture, just the way you have to work it into the skin. And the finish is beautiful. Every time I have worn this foundation on camera, I have said, what am I wearing on my skin? My skin looks so good. And every time it's been this. This, hands down, guys, has been my favorite foundation I have tried this year. I did not expect to like this as much as I do. I mean, there's a lot of other awesome things. The fact that she created this top for people who have lupus, easier for you to be able to open, maybe even for people with arthritis and all that stuff. So I think that was phenomenal. But besides all of the awesome things that she created for this line, this is really good. I don't care if it's a celebrity. I don't care who creates it. If it's good makeup, it's worth it. I love this. I love this. I think everybody should give this a shot. I really do. If you have dry skin, if you have very dry skin, I think that you have to moisturize under because sometimes on me, I do see a little bit of dryness, but with this foundation, it's almost like one of those is as you wear it, it just kind of like seeps in and looks even better. And at the end of the day, I love the way it looks. So for me personally, this has worked amazing. I love it. And people have asked me, how does it work with a mask? I have been wearing this for 2 weeks. I went to Publix and a few other places. I didn't feel like it took off a lot of the foundation. So I feel like it could be worn with the mask. But I am going to tell you guys that most makeup is not really meant to be worn with a mask. So it's kind of just like putting a cloth to your face. You're gonna take off your makeup no matter what you're wearing. And I wouldn't recommend to anybody to just go and get waterproof or very strong makeup just so it looks good if you take off your mask, because that's really bad for your skin. So I would just say this is like a little setback for us that we have to like kind of deal with having to wear a mask. Don't only purchase your foundations based off of the fact whether they last with a mask or not. Make sure it's good for your skin, make sure you like the finish and all that stuff, and you know, hopefully this whole mask thing goes away, right? So winner. So now we're gonna move on to the next one because I could sit here all day and talk about this because I really, really love it, guys. I really do. I think you guys should try it. But the Cover FX Tinted Moisturizer. So this is the Luminous Tinted Moisturizer. You guys remember when I tried this on my Tinted Tuesdays? Don't worry, Tinted Tuesdays coming back. It's just there's been so many new makeup releases that, I mean, I only have a few days of schedule to be able to film for you guys, so I can't commit to always doing a Tinted Tuesday because then I would miss out on a lot of new releases. But I am still trying for one, even though I think I found a holy grail, but I'm still looking. So the Cover FX Luminous one, I like this, but I don't love it. So what happened is when I first tried it, loved the way it looked, wore it a few other times, thought it looked pretty damn good. It was decent. But what I started to notice was I was reaching for my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue more than this one. And I kept wondering why I was doing that. And I figured out what it was. The problem with this one is it sometimes can feel a little drying and it can make your skin look a little bit dry. And I started to notice as I wore it more and more that when I would wear my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, my skin looked very healthy and skin-like, and I didn't feel like I had makeup on, but at the same time it did a nice, decent job of covering, not great, but I always felt like my skin looked healthy. You know, like it looks shiny and healthy and it just looked like skin. I started to notice when I would wear this one, even in a photograph, I would be like, what was I wearing on my face? My skin looks a little bit pory, maybe a little dry. And I started to notice that when I would wear this one, my skin actually looked drier. Now on camera and, you know, like if you look in the mirror really quick, it's mattifying, so it takes away those oils. It makes you look good like on camera and stuff. But in real life, it does a little bit too much mattifying for my skin, which I have like combo skin. And since I'm a little bit older, I feel like that also kind of makes me not love like that really mattified look. And I started to say, okay, well, the reason I'm not grabbing this one is because I love the dewiness and that skin-like feel that my other product was giving me, the Complexion Rescue. And then I just said, you know what? I can't say this is bad, and I feel like if you have very oily skin, this might be pretty interesting for you. But for me personally, I just feel like if I know that I'm grabbing something else more, I don't love this product, even though it's good. But it's not holy grail, you know? So that's where I have to leave that one. But I want to tell you guys about a holy grail. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. Guys, I did not know that this was going to be this good. I honestly purchased this just because I love her airbrush powder, but this has become my holy grail. And I put it in a favorites video, but I had to give you guys my final verdict on it. I think this tan color is the perfect tone for a medium skin tone. And even if you have a light medium skin tone, go for the tan. The tan does an amazing tan bronze look to the skin. And I feel like it's going to work on deeper skin tones, but I feel like lighter skin tones could really benefit from this color. The one underneath this one almost looks a little bit too dull. I ended up never picking it up. I wanted to in the beginning, but the way that this makes my skin look, I don't want the other one. I love this so much, and I mentioned this in another video in my favorites. This has refills, so if you want to just buy the bronzer without the casing, you'll save a little bit of money and you could put it in a Z palette and try it out, and then eventually one day buy the casing if you want. It's a nice difference, you know, if you're saving some money and you just want to try it, but I love this. I like this more than the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer. This is my everyday bronzer. I have not put it down. I haven't wanted to try anything else. I love the Fenty cream bronzer was a really, really big hit for me this year, but this guy has taken over everything. Like literally, guys, this is worth the money. The same way I think her powder is worth it, this is worth it. Maybe some of her eyeshadows and quads I don't think are as worth it, but this right here is worth every dime I spent on it. The other one I want to tell you guys about is the It Cosmetics foundation. So this is the Your Skin But Better foundation, and I loved this so much. Before I used this, I thought that this was going to be like my foundation of the year. I was so shocked on how beautiful my skin looked. It looks very dewy, it looks very healthy. The longer you wear it, the better it looks. It gives you a very nice coverage. I would say this one has more coverage than this one. This one has a medium coverage, a light medium, but it makes your skin look pretty damn flawless, let me tell you. This one has more medium coverage, and it's a little bit thicker because it is not like a serum. But oh my goodness, it does such a beautiful job. This to me is a foundation for every day. I actually feel like both of these are everyday foundations. This one might give you a little bit more coverage. I love the feeling on my skin. My skin loves this one too. I got no breakouts when wearing this. I wore this nonstop before I picked this one up. I picked it up in a really good shade too. Medium Neutral 31 ended up working out really good. This is the only one that they had that was close to my skin tone, so I couldn't get a golden in this one, and I got this one, and this one works. So who knows, maybe it was like the same as this one. I love this. The same thing with the mask. I think it works fine with the mask. I'm going to give you the same answer. I think it works okay with the mask. It didn't really take off the product too much, but I personally don't think that you need to go out and buy foundation specifically just because of the mask. Unfortunately, that's just the time we're in right now, but I really don't want you guys all breaking out on your face and stuff because of foundations, trying to get things that really set in place. If you want, use a setting mist and maybe try that out and see if it works a little better. I'm a bigger advocate of using spot concealing and trying to skip out on foundation for the time being, just so your skin doesn't really overreact with too much product stuck underneath, you know, a mask. But I do think it works fine with a mask. I had to wear a mask a few times. I don't have to wear a mask all day though. I love that it has a very light, airy feel to it. If you have mature skin, This one's going to be great for you. I also think you'll like this one, but this one is going to be great for you. I don't think it went into any of my lines. It sat beautifully on the skin. Like I said, this guy was my number one before this guy came in the picture, but both of these guys are huge wins. Huge everyday foundations, not too cakey, not too full coverage, great everyday. I love both of these, I really do. But yeah, this one's really, really nice too. Very light feeling on the skin. You don't feel like you have makeup on. I'm a huge fan, I really am. So let me talk about something that I'm not as big of a fan of, but it's not really the formula's fault. The Marc Jacob, this is Eye-conic Extravagance palette. I think that's what it was called. Extravagance. Yeah, I think it's Extravagance palette. I'm not the biggest fan of the looks that I've created with this, and I don't think it's an ugly palette at all. Like that's not my problem with it. My problem with this one is an all-in-one palette. I feel like this is an add-on palette. And I feel like that's what's been my problem with it. Like I've tried to create looks just using this palette, and some have been pretty, but I always feel like I need a lighter shade. I feel like some of these tones are just a tad on the deeper side. I wish he would have done something a little lighter, and maybe even something a little bit of a peachier tone or something to add some oomph to my eye looks and not be so bland. I feel like it's a little too bland. And even this color right here has been kind of useless for me in the palette. I haven't really used it too much with these other tones. I don't really think it was needed. I wish that would have been a different tone. So the formula of this is phenomenal. I love Marc Jacobs' formula. I really think he's so consistent with formulas, and I think the formula is gorgeous. But as a palette on its own, I don't love it that much. As a mixer palette, I do like it, and I have mixed it with other palettes, and that's where I see that I'm like, oh, I like it now. But that's the problem. I like it, but I like to mix it. But if you're on the fence on that one, because that one's $49, I would highly recommend the Dose of Colors one, guys. I put this in favorites already, but my final verdict on it is this is amazing. The color story in here is beautiful. The only color in here is this one right here that I'm not like in love with the color because it's a little bit more of like a limey greeny color. And maybe I would have liked a color from this palette, but these two are very similar. They really are. And I bought them both back to back. And I would tell you that because I have both, I can tell you the one I reach for is this one more. This one also has a gold, but it's a more subtle gold than this one. This one's a little bit brighter. This color right here, this color is gorgeous. And it's kind of like what's missing in this palette. This color right here is gorgeous. It's a beautiful blending shade, a peekaboo shade. It works so amazing. This green is incredibly beautiful. The green in here is very pretty too. They're both very pretty greens, but this one is just insane. I love this color right here. I feel like most of the colors in here I'm obsessed with. I really, really like the formula. So this one is like I love this. I really do. And I can't wait because you'll probably see it before this video, but I'm getting the new Huda palette, the khaki one. I can't wait to get that one. But yeah, so both of these are good. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to tell you guys about, and I can already close the door on this one because I know my thoughts. The Glam Palette from Natasha Denona is absolutely beautiful. I love this. This is the look I have on today. Actually, if you guys are wondering, I'm wearing most of the stuff I talked about. I'm wearing the Rare Beauty, I'm wearing the Charlotte Tilbury, and I'll link everything down below that I'm wearing on my face today. But this palette is on my eyes, and every time I've created an eye look, I've been in love. I really have. And I really, really love this palette. I told you guys in my first impression of it that I thought it was going to be phenomenal. And when I did my different eye looks with it, I told you guys, like, I'm really loving this. I love this. I think it does really beautiful, cool tone looks. I do think that for the most part, more of the looks that you're getting out of here are a little bit more glamified because it's a little bit more, I mean, I guess when you think of cool tones, a lot of times cool tones can get a little bit dramatic, and a lot of the eye looks I've created using this, I want to go dramatic, you know, but I do think it's absolutely stunning. And if you're somebody who just likes to wear a wash of colors, there's a lot of metallics in here that you could just put as a wash of color. I still think that there's some repetitive shades in here that probably didn't need to be here. Like there is, I mean, it's just true. Some of these, they're just repetitive and they were very close in color, and I showed you guys that before. But at the end of the day, the formula of this palette is insanely good. The color story is very original to what we have been seeing coming out. The palette itself is good quality. This mirror is good quality. The palette is sturdy. It's not so heavy that your arm's gonna fall off. I could use this mirror to apply all my makeup from different brands, and I love this mirror. I just feel like overall, this is worth the money. It's everything in one, and it's worth the money. If Natasha Denona continued to make every single one of her palettes middies, I would be completely okay with it, because the quality of this packaging and the amount of product that you get is well worth it. I mean, I'm fine if she gets rid of the leather packaging. I always liked it, but now that I've gotten these middies, I'm like, you know what? I think that the middies are the way to go. Sturdier, they're easier to hold, and even the leather packaging, you have that little film that like keeps the mirror from getting dirty. You don't even need that in this. I feel like she should just go middies for all the rest of her line. I mean, she should just continue to do middies. This is where it's at. This is beautiful, and I love the palette. If you guys are looking at that one, yes, I think it's beautiful, and I've created gorgeous looks with it. So okay, so guys, that is it for today's final thoughts. Those are my final thoughts on all of these products, and this is where I stand as of right now. Like I told you guys, there's more products. I just didn't want to put everything into one video, and some stuff I haven't used long enough to really tell you guys this is where it's at. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there was a product you guys were hoping I would talk about, leave it down below so I can try to put that one in front of others. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe if you have not already, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.